AI is absolutely shaking up pretty much every industry, right? But when you look at advertising, wow, it's not just a shakeup, it's a full-blown revolution. And what's happening right now is this huge split, creating two totally different paths that every single brand has to choose between.
Now, I know that sounds a little intense, right? But it's not about trying to be alarmist. It's really all about perspective. The change that AI is bringing is just so massive, so fundamental, that trying to look at the past to figure out what's next is, well, it's pretty much useless. We are in completely uncharted territory here.
And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi future we're talking about. The shockwaves, they're already here. They're hitting us now, and they've carved out a brand new frontier that every single advertiser has to figure out how to navigate, like today.
So what's the big problem here? What is AI actually trying to solve for us? Well, it all boils down to this one single critical issue, the creative bottleneck. For most modern marketers, this is the #1 thing holding back growth.
Just think about it for a second. Platforms like TikTok and Meta, they're basically run by these hungry algorithms that just crave novelty. You get rewarded for fresh content, and you get penalized for stale ads. What this means is that creative diversity, having lots of different ads, has become the main way to win, way more important than just being a genius at buying media. The problem? The old way of making ads is just too slow and way too expensive to feed the beast. And wow, this table just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the old school way. Takes weeks, costs thousands of bucks for a single video, and you're lucky if you get what? Maybe a handful of ads out the door each month. But then you look at the right, the AI model. We're talking minutes, costs less than $100, and you can pump out hundreds of ad variations. The difference isn't just a little bit better, it's a completely different universe.
So you see this massive gap. And of course, where there's a problem that big, a solution is going to pop up, right? And that's exactly what happened. This led to the first major path, the rise of the do-it-yourself AI ad agent. This is the new wave of super accessible automated tools.
And companies like Creatify are really the poster child for this whole DIY revolution. They were literally built from the ground up to solve that one problem, the creative bottleneck. What they offer is speed, scale, and automation, all designed for performance marketers who need to test, and test again.
And then you see the price. Just look at that. $19 a month. 19. For that, you get access to this incredibly powerful AI ad-making machine. This isn't some tool that only giant corporations can afford. It's for everybody. It completely democratizes the ability to make tons of ads. And here's the other side of that coin, the speed. A process that used to take weeks, with writers, designers, editors, all going back and forth, can now be done in less than 5 minutes. Seriously. That's less time than it takes to go grab a coffee.
And the process itself is just ridiculously simple, especially if you're in e-commerce. You literally just copy and paste a link to your product. The AI goes to the page, grabs the images, writes a bunch of different scripts, and then boom, it spits out a whole batch of video ads all ready to go. It is a total game changer.
Okay, so all of this sounds absolutely incredible, and honestly, for a lot of businesses, it is. But it brings up a really, really important question. When it comes to building a powerful, memorable, lasting brand, is faster and cheaper always better? And that very question opens the door to that second path we talked about, a completely different philosophy that's emerging from this AI revolution. You could call it the new luxury model, or even digital couture. It's a bespoke, high-touch approach for brands that just refuse to be put into a template.
In this slide, man, it just puts the two worlds side by side so perfectly. On one hand, you've got the DIY platforms. Their whole world is about automation, high volume, templates, and pure speed. And on the other hand, you have a firm like Noir Starr. Their world is about human curation, exclusivity, masterpieces, and vision.
And Noir Starr puts it perfectly themselves with this quote. They're not even trying to compete on speed or how many ads they can make. They are the exact opposite of that template-driven world. What they offer is something truly unique, something that's been tailored just for you.
So, what does digital couture actually mean? Well, it's where you get creative direction from people who are veterans of the fashion industry, people who know how to merge that luxury feeling with cutting-edge AI. It's about finding curated digital talent and crafting iconic campaigns that nobody can copy. At its core, it's about being led by strategy, not just by a tool.
So here we are, we've basically arrived at a classic fork in the road. And for every marketer out there, you've got a brand new playbook with two very clear, very distinct options. You can either choose the tool or you can choose the masterpiece. So let's just put it simply one more time. The DIY ad agent, like Creatify, that's your weapon for high-volume testing, for moving fast, for performance marketing where data is king. The digital couture path, with agencies like Noir Starr, that is for luxury brands that need to define who they are through powerful, unforgettable storytelling and exclusive campaigns.
At the end of the day, this decision, it has almost nothing to do with the technology itself. It's a much more fundamental choice. It's about your brand's identity. It's about who you are and who you want to become. Are you built for speed and efficiency, or are you built for legacy and luxury?
And that leaves us with the final question that every brand leader, every marketer out there has to answer for themselves. In this new age of AI, is your brand going to be the one that just wields the automated tool, or are you going to be the one who commissions the tailored masterpiece? The path you choose is going to define everything.